Like the creeks and rivers that wind through the Hudson and Delaware River valleys, and the ridges that stretch from one county to the next, from Orange County to Sullivan, Ulster and Rockland, the work of farming and caring for the land doesn't stop at political lines. It connects us, neighbor to neighbor, valley to valley. The people who grow our food and protect our land are doing more than tending fields. They're shaping the future. Among them are women who work the earth and build resilience in our communities. Their impact isn't just in what they grow, it's how they lead, how they teach, and how they sustain the world around them. These are the stories of a few remarkable women who have made a difference in our region. From the Hudson to the Delaware, at the nexus of where farming and conservation come together.
I grew up on a small family farm in rural Western New York, and having spent so many of my years working on a dairy farm, it's grounded me in hard work, understanding agriculture, understanding how to work with people, and the importance of farmland as part of every local community.
Well, you would think of the word agriculture in urban communities. I think what makes us set apart from others is that word culture, the word of culture that we bring into small spaces. We don't grow large spaces where we're growing tons and tons of vegetables, but we grow in small spaces. And in fact, what we bring to those small spaces is our relationship to land and our relationship to culture.
Agriculture is incredibly important to communities, especially the rural community, and then that ties to our suburban and urban communities through farmers markets specifically. A long time ago, I heard Mark Lapping give a presentation on the necessity for a working landscape. And in order to have a working landscape, we need to have viable, livable communities where people can earn their living and provide the kind of living for the family that they want.
I think it's really important that, at least for us in Sullivan County, we're able to produce and feed our own community. And I think a lot of these initiatives is what's happening. You know, as I said, we're in food desert community, but meanwhile, we have all these farms in our county. So it's linking the gap where it's helping farmers just be able to farm and make money off their product, but then feed the community that we live in.
I'd like to see the Catskill Mountains and this region be a model of how people can live sustainably. And we can take that model, and if we're living well in harmony with our environment, show that it's possible.
Conservation and agriculture, I think, are really natural partners. So much of my work is about preserving the land, preserving the landscape that we're working in, and preserving the native flora and fauna that exist alongside us, because biodiversity is what enriches us, both on the farm and around the farm.
It's crucial that the work goes on. If it doesn't, if nobody picks up the torch, if nobody continues environmental work, if nobody pays any attention, it's all going to get shot.
We certainly need our rural farms to actually feed us in a big way, but we also need to keep that connection for everybody to how their food's grown. And it's really important. What we see in Newburgh with the high school students we work with, they change how they think about the world when they realize they can be in control of growing their own food or growing food for their community.
Our mission is to try to provide a resilient food system for the city of Newburgh so that we have healthy, culturally appropriate food, while also educating the residents about the importance of having food here in their city and knowing how to grow that food in their city.
As an Ag Board member for the Orange County Agricultural and Farmland Protection Board, we are really focused on being on the ground and helping farmers do better, right? Farmers need to have a positive bottom line. So that can be anything from promoting farmers markets, which really a lot of farmers depend on, to helping new farmers get involved. So all of it comes together to really promote and support farming in Orange County.
Farming and conservation sustains us. But the future belongs to those who push it forward. From back roads to big cities, it's the innovators, the risk takers, and the next wave, whose grit, passion, and vision for what's ahead will keep communities thriving for generations to come.
We all have heard the statistics. Our farmers are aging, and there really haven't been enough farmers to replace them. And we need these farmers to continue growing.
We came out with a program 2 years ago, the Beginner Farmer Program, that was funded through a USDA American Rescue Technical Assistance Grant. And that was based off feedback from the farming community about developing basically a workforce development program for the next generation and really tapping into the existing farmers who have been there for a while, providing mentorship to the next generation.
I think the one thing I tell everybody who wants to get into farming or even into environmental work, it's a labor of love because it's already really hard to be a small farmer. It's all about passion, and that's what's going to carry you through to the end of the day, and it will take over your life, but in like the best possible way.
Those chemicals that are all over and nobody realizes they were there. And I've been involved in statewide movements to try and do something about them. It is costing fortunes to clean up our drinking water.
So farmland preservation is the critical component if we're going to keep farming in this county. So you can't really farm without some farmland. And we've already seen lots of farms disappear, especially our dairy industry, because it is just too expensive to run a farm in these parts. And so you've got to innovate and you've got to figure out how you can make it work.
The 4-H pledge really emphasizes what the 4-H program means to accomplish for our youth. The pledge starts with, I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands for larger service, and my health for better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world. So these youth are committing themselves to learn and to grow and committing themselves to community service. It doesn't matter what it is, animals, cooking, Lego robotics. The point is that the youth have this opportunity to learn skills and to develop their citizenship and their community service.
When we talk about young people being passionate in urban ag, I think it has to be how you get people to put their hands in the soil. It's going to take people to go out and meet the youth and explain to them why it is important to know where their food comes from, why it is important to visit a farm or start a community garden.
Whether we're in a small community farm right here in the heart of an urban center or on a large farm out in a more rural area. Preserving those lands, making sure that they're available for production of fresh produce and underlying spaces for people to understand and appreciate farmland is really important for all of us.
We're there, we're working with our community, and it's very rewarding when we see the groups of volunteers come, we see the kids come, when we see the appreciation that people have for the work that we're doing. And then when you see the food that we can bring to the pantries and distribute at the pantries, that ability to give back to their community in a way that is healthy and productive is very important to the people that work with us.
I think it's going to take a village for us to really work with children, make them curious about growing food and where their food comes from.
At the end of the day, accomplishments are often measured in acres preserved, but the real accomplishment is connections made with farms, the community, and individuals across the Hudson Valley, being sure that everyone in the Hudson Valley has access to fresh local produce from our more rural landscapes to right here in Poughkeepsie. I'm so proud to be part of a land conservation effort that puts farmland and foodshed conservation forward for the benefit of everybody.
It all comes full circle. Supporting farmers, protecting the environment. This is really our work. It's a work that requires all of us. It requires passion, leadership, determination, persistence, and most importantly, I think, creativity to take care of what is around us and to take care of each other.